players down low.
I think the featured player that is still in the tournament is with Bishop Kelly. But so the issue is the tradition of Moscow. They're very good. They're playing the best basketball of anybody in the tournament as far as profit per possession. They're actually averaging 77 points in this tournament when they only average in the 50s during the season.
Outstanding. Of course, you talk about the Moscow Bears. They're led by their point guard, Kirby Brown. Kirby's one of those players who was a sixth man with the state champions last year behind Adam Miller, who went to the University of Idaho. But it's become his team this year, and he has followed through, coming with a big effort in this tournament.
Well, it's not only big effort throughout the tournament, he is a featured shooter. He's one of these young kids who can actually go and quickly stop on a dime and shoot the ball. That's highly unusual in today's game. He hit the three-pointer the other night and then made the free throws on the technical to get them here. So it's just tough all the way around.
Yes, and in fact, Don Dudley's crew, they will go 11, 12 deep, so they'll just keep running players at you. That's going to be a concern for Bishop Kelly. Of course, when you talk about the Knights, you have to start with Abe Jackson, the player who's going to Boise State University next year.
Abe Jackson is a great player. And what's going on with Abe Jackson is he's a player that makes everybody around him play better. You know, all the teams in the finals, all four tonight, are teams that pass the ball well, and this guy is a great player. He can shoot it in and out. He makes everybody better because he can play away from the bucket, he can face the basket, and he can flat get on it down low and out pound. And the size is going to be a huge difference tonight. He's by far the biggest player on the floor.
Talk a little bit about how these two teams got here. Of course, for Bishop Kelly, they knocked off Preston, who was the number 2 team in the state coming in, highly regarded. Ben Huser, a kid who's going to the University of Utah. BK shut them down. Then they knocked off St. Mary's rather easily in the semis last night. As for Moscow, they crushed Shelley in the first round, but then had a real tough one last night with Emmett. A game decided by a technical foul after the Huskies called a timeout with no timeouts remaining.
Oh, and we just, all of the Michigan games with Chris Webber. I mean, it was just, that's a tough way to lose it, and yet they were in it. They did shoot a 3 to get right there, and then the tie ball game. You're thinking you're going to overtime, and boom, like that, the technical takes it away.
Okay, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup, as a matter of fact. For the Moscow Bears, they're coming in under head coach Don Dudley. Their ball club has only lost 4 games all year long. A couple of those to teams in the A-1 tournament, Lewiston and Coeur d'Alene. Take a look at their starting lineup. Kirby Brown, as we mentioned, at the point guard. Tony Rinaldi, a returner from last year's state championship team, at the other. Russ Cosgrove, who was a reserve last year. John Shoup at the forward. Corey Comstock will be the big man in the middle, the 6'3" junior.
Mike, when you look at that, there's only 18 points a game out of the front line. They're only 6'3", 6'2" in the front line, where on the other side you're going to see 6'6", 6'7" in the front line.
Getting ready to jump it up. Take a look at that Bishop Kelly lineup real quick. Chris Horace and Sky Satterfield in the backcourt. Corey Violet, Ryan Zimmerman up front, and Abe Jackson, as we talked about, as a center. As we are underway, Moscow in the road red, going against Bishop Kelly in their home white. Moscow going from right to left on your screen.
Bishop Kelly starting out player-to-player, man-to-man here. Going to play it somewhat. They will extend the court on you. They'll play you soft and really play great position in the key. Look off the camera. You'll see how many Bishop Kelly Knights are in the key.
Rinaldi can't hit the 15-footer. Horace out with it quickly to Zimmerman. Zimmerman working on Brown. Can't hit it. There's Rinaldi.
One thing you're going to see out of this team from Moscow is when they get the basketball, they get shots every time. They do not turn the basketball over, averaging fewer than 5-7 turnovers in this tournament.
Corey Comstock with the bucket after the nice feed by Rinaldi. That's the key for the Bears. They've been there before. They won it last year. A lot of kids who were reserves now starters on this team. Violet can't hit it, and there's Brown with the rebound.
Kirby Brown is a real player. He can move the ball, and as you mentioned earlier, he spent a lot of playing time behind some very good players, so you can just imagine the practice wars.
Driving inside, left-hander up and no good by Cosgrove, and that's Jackson with the board.
The Knights are going to have to solve that. That's the third trip and 3 shots within the key.
Chris Horace down low to Violet. Working baseline, that's where he likes to operate. Real low post banger. There's Jackson working baseline, draws a foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
6'7" versus 6'3" down on the block, and that is a serious size problem. You see the back screen Violet is he's replaced by A. Brown, so 6'6" switching out to 6'7", 6'3" with the foul. You can just see the size and the elevation difference.
Foul on Corey Comstock, 6'3" junior, picking up his first. Jackson missing the free throw. Jackson's been outstanding in this tournament, averaging 23 a game against Preston and St. Mary's.
also shooting 88% from the free throw line.
Hits 1 of 2 there to put the Knights on the board.
3 trips, 3 shots in the key.
Played just over a minute and a half of this A-2 championship of the Real Dairy Shootout. Brown, dribble drive penetration. Can't hit it, and there's Jackson with the board.
A 4th shot from within the paint. And they're the much smaller team. It's amazing.
Zimmerman works inside. Can't get it. There's Brown with yet another board, and here come the Bears.
Richard Kelly doing a great job of getting back, and yet Moscow pushes it and gets a layup. 3 on 5. 3 offensive players letting the lanes extremely wide.
John Shute, the 6'2 junior, with the bucket, putting the Bears up 4-1. Jackson, great feed to Zimmerman inside.
The Zimmerman matchup seems to be tough. He's had 3 shots here inside the first 2 minutes.
You see what you were talking about with Jackson, how he makes others better around him with his passing ability. It's Brown hits a 3 ball. Brown averaging 13 and a half in this tournament. Go ahead,
This
Rob.
tournament, top to bottom, right, has just been brilliant. There's been great basketball all the way around. And guess who again with the assist? Dave Jackson again drawing all the focus, focusing the defense to getting a layup.
Corey Violet, his first 2 points. Draws the Knights within 2.
Good defense on the ball and off the ball. A little softer at this end for the Knights than you see it on the other end. Again, the ball in the key.
Scoop will try the jumper outside, and Jackson all over the glass.
Certainly the dominant presence in this tournament thus far. The other thing that you cannot discount is he's gotten his team here, which means he's making everybody around him play extremely well.
Unlike a lot of the other big-name players in this tournament who failed to get their clubs here, Jackson did. Horace goes baseline, contact under the bucket, no call. Jackson looks for the 3, looks to drive, goes inside, draws contact. He'll go to the line for 2. Foul going to be on Rinaldi.
And here's a little bit of a difference of a high school play, and one of the great things about kids and great players in high school, they become freshmen in college, and the best thing about that is they become sophomores in college. And you can see here we get a leg by, great no call. The ball's going to be reversed and come to Abe Jackson, and you're going to see him put it on the floor. And in Division I, you're going to have to be able to pull that string right then and get it up. But here, against size, smaller opponents, he can take his time, take the body contact, turn in onto the shooter.
Jackson hitting the first of 2 free throws. Don Dudley going to the bench, and he'll do that often. Adam Bush, 5'10 sophomore, into the game for Moscow, as well as Jamie Westberg, a 6'2 senior.
One of the things I don't want to get ahead of myself or ahead of the game about Abe Jackson, don't take a minute away from the fact that he is a great high school player. And I think sometimes we look ahead and say, what should they be? He's dominant where he is right now.
Shot rejected by Jackson down low as Cosgrove tried to go up on him. Jackson drives baseline, ball knocked out of bounds. It will go over to Moscow. Also into the lineup for the Bears is Sean Reynolds, a 5'9 senior guard. That's him handling the basketball right now.
I think they brought 2 buses for the Moscow team. When you look over there, it's a wave of red. Great tradition, deep all the way through the school. Man-to-man, you're seeing with a stack away, but watch how BK plays defense off the ball. They really fill up the paint.
Duke working baseline on Violet.
I'm very impressed with the defensive footwork of Violet. He doesn't put himself in a position where he has to do a lot, so he just breaks down and plays good position defense.
Just a sophomore as well. Jump shot banked in that time by Reynolds. And he gets the steal on the inbounds, but can't hit it. Moscow leading at 9-7, 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
The tempo of this game is very odd. This tournament's been very unusual as Abe just takes over. I'll tell you, 6'7" that can face the bucket at 15 really is hard to defend. You can't help up from the baseline on him.
Moscow, as I see it, in a man-to-man situation, has no one who can handle him. Working down low is Reynolds, and he's going to draw the foul on Horace.
The shot chart for Moscow, with the exception of the 1 3-point launch, could be within about 8 feet of the bucket. They know Bishop Kelly is 6'6", 6'7" in the front line with 25 of their 54 points a game coming from there. If they can get in a foul situation, if they're not, they're getting great percentage shots. They're shooting layups, 3-footers, and 8-footers.
Coaches continue to go to the bench. That's coming in for Moscow is Ryan Gilmore, 6-foot junior. Also in for Bishop Kelly, Nick Alexis, 6'4" junior, replacing Violet. As Reynolds can't hit the first free throw. And that's an area where the Bears have struggled this year. Is that the free throw line, Ron?
They are an amazingly poor free throw shooting team for scoring as many points per possession as they do. They do not shoot the ball well at all. In this tournament, they're only shooting 54% with the free throw line.
Reynolds hitting 1 of 2 to give the Bears the lead at 10-9.
There's an example. That's a little thing. That's one piece of one possession. But you pick up the ball, you make a mistake, and the next time you look around, it's Abe Jackson. He saves it, and he gets the back kick for the layup.
Great feed that time from the Knights, getting it inside to Jackson as Jeff Kamen, 5'9" sophomore, and then he makes the steal going the other way. Great hustle that time by Darnell Williams, the 6'2" freshman. Prevents the easy bucket. Williams has had an outstanding tournament thus far. 21 last night in the win over Emmett in the semifinals. And just a freshman.
Averaging 15 in the whole tournament, just really playing well.
Well, that's good court awareness by Jackson, knowing he can let it go in the backboard on that inbound.
So he's wanting to play away from the hoop, and he certainly is that kind of player.
Zimmerman working down low to Jackson, triple teamed, airballs it, but that leaves the weak side open, and taking advantage of it, Sky Satterfield.
His court awareness is brilliant. He knew that he was being doubled, and he could see over the top. There was no one there on the defensive end.
Driving inside and drawing the foul for Moscow is Ryan Gilmore. He'll go to the line for 2.
Really interesting to watch two teams attempting to do the same thing. Ball going to come here. The dribble penetration as he goes by Jack. Abe just leaves him there. Look at all the BK players there, but again, the ball right in the paint at 2 feet, focusing the defense with the dribble penetration. At the other end, the defense is being focused by Abe Jackson.
No question. And I think everyone who has watched this tournament knew that coming in as Gilmore misses the first free throw. Missing these free throws early on in these opportunities could come back to haunt the Bears, as Jackson will now go to the bench, checking in for Bishop Kelly. Matt White, a 6'2" senior, to replace him. And we talk about the tradition of Moscow. Bishop Kelly, they've been in this state tournament before as well. He won the title in '91. Jim Potter, guy you might remember with Idaho State. Reynolds doing a nice job getting the ball, but Williams walked with it.
I can tell you, Williams is a serious talent. That is a real move. That's a travel, but I can tell you what, that's a great, even to attempt to play like that is a great play.
Full court pressure, Zimmerman breaks right through it.
Be interesting to see the offensive organization with Abe on the bench.
Kamen in trouble and
Turnover.
throws it away as he tried to get it to Brett Lewandowski. Lewandowski lost it out of bounds.
Little thing, you can pick up the ball when Abe's at the high post like that because he's going to be able to come out and get it and just post up out at 30 feet and relieve the pressure. But without him on the floor, you have to keep your dribble till you either shoot it or know where you're going to pass it.
And the Bears will extend that 94-foot pressure all game long. Williams hits it.
He's quick, he uses a jump stop, and he really elevates.
Doesn't look like a freshman out there, does he?
He certainly doesn't. And again, the ball picked up a wee bit early.
Alexis will go to the line for 2 as he drives it down baseline. We're going to call the foul on Gilmore. Gilmore, his first third-team foul on Moscow. Good look at Neil McCarthy right there, head coach at Bishop Kelly. Coached that state championship team in '91. Of course, he took him back to the title game a couple of years later. A guy named Mike Hagman just concluded his career at Boise State. So Neal's had some players over the year.
Nice conversion.
Alexis hitting both free throws. Knights continue to lead it by 3. Final 30 seconds of this first quarter. Gilmore goes a 15 shot, is blocked. Dusty with a nice defensive play, and the Knights going to get the final possession of the first quarter. Zimmerman eyeing the clock, going to dribble drive into the lane and banks it up and in.
Zimmerman has owned both matchups. They tried different people on him, and he's really been effective against anybody they're playing him with.
Williams doesn't realize how much time's left. Reynolds throws it up and can't hit it at the buzzer. And that will do it for the first period of play in this A-2 championship with the Real Dairy Shootout. Our score after one, Bishop Kelly 17, Moscow 12. Back with the second quarter after this. Welcome back. Second quarter ready to begin here of the Real Dairy Shootout A-2 championship with Bishop Kelly and Moscow Knights lead it by 5. Jackson's checked back into the lineup. They come right out on the break. Miss the easy chippy inside.
Put the ball in Abe Jackson's hands, let him in the open court, and everybody immediately is open.
Heyman had a wide open layup, failed to convert. Up, but they get the steal.
It's Zimmerman again. Truly one of the great X factors in this tournament. He's just a physical, dominant player out there. He's got quickness, he's got strength.
And he really is a release valve as far as that pressure is concerned, his ability to handle the ball. Starting quarterback on Bishop Kelly's football team, so he's used to handling things.
Yeah, great composure. One of the great. You need to have a player play between the free throw lines to make things happen in that dimension, because there's a great portion of the game that's where the ball is. Again, using the great big player to screen and then allow him to go to the ball.
Chris Horace back in the lineup. He's handling the ball right now. Joe Goodson's into the game for Bishop Kelly as well.
Good composure, good patience. Pressure not affecting him, but Moscow again with good defensive pressure.
Abe working baseline. He's going to draw the foul down low on Comstock. That's his second. Boy, they can't allow him to get the ball that deep.
Now you're going to have to run at him with somebody. Now the choice is, if you're going to funnel him to the baseline, do you run with the backside guard? Again, pretty good defensive position, but a great stride before the drive. He pivoted, then put the ball on the floor instead of glide stepping first.
Horace in trouble in the corner and wisely calls a timeout as he was double teamed down low by Shoup and Rinaldi. 7:10 to go here in this second period of play. Bishop Kelly on top, 17-12. Welcome back, just underway here in the second period of play. Bishop Kelly leading it by 5 over Moscow. Jackson works it down low. There's Violet inside for the tip-in, though. And BK takes a 7-point lead.
Penetration by Jackson, making the entire defense come to him, leaving rebound. He's open.
Brown airballs a 3, battle for the loose ball, and it's Violet.
Bishop Kelly on the season averaging 69 points a game, and in the tournament only averaging 54.
Great steal by Rinaldi. He goes the other way and hits the layup.
The story just different for Moscow. Their pressures had a great effect in the tournament, averaging 77 points, where they were only a 51-point-a-game scoring team all year.
Moscow impressive coming into this tournament. The fact that they beat both Lewiston and Coeur d'Alene, a team you'll see in the A1 championship during the regular season. Jackson down low, gets his own board, and he's going to draw the foul. Well, I tell you what, anytime he gets the ball that close to the hoop, it's going to be 2 points or a foul every time.
And I don't know, we won't go as far as to say it's violence, but the aggression with which they are fouling him is unbelievable. These kids are playing hard. There's great intensity, and they aren't backing off the intensity one bit. They're like they're playing for Cokes at recess. There is no layup being given away in this arena tonight.
Goodson checking out. Ruben Osamende, 6'1" senior, checking in as Jackson goes to the line for 2. That foul was on Kirby Brown, his first. Jackson with 8 points, half of those coming from the line. Make it 9.
88% free throw shooter. Bishop Kelly even getting softer off the ball, containing on the ball, much softer away from the ball.
shoot. Fouled by Jackson with the reach. And for Jackson, his first.
Location. Again, the ball on the hard drive. And I think he's okay there, and they're really consistently letting body get away, but they're not going to let you stick your hand in there and reach. Good camera work. Got to see that foul right in your living room. Again, watch ball location, the patience.
Not afraid to swing it across the floor either.
And Brown's pretty much been under control.
Knocked out of bounds by Jackson, remained Bear basketball.
Change in the defense here. With the ball out of bounds on the baseline, they went 2-3. Let's see how they go this way. Again, shows zone with the ball out of bounds.
Bishop Kelly up 21-14. 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Brown, but there with the steal is Asamende.
Dribbling into a train station in New York City.
Jackson open down low. Nice play by Costro, knocked away, but there's Asamende inside, but misses the chippy. And the foul in the backcourt going to be on Horace. That's going to be his second.
Great look by Abe Jackson, back to the bucket, in the corner. Pressure here, the ball thrown on the high feed. Watch, he's got the back of the bucket, collects it, flips over, and greatly. This is the layup, but just great vision all the way around. You know, you can be 6'7" and not have that court presence, and I think that's the X factor that will make him a good player.
Andy Livingston, a 5'6" sophomore, into the lineup for BK. Coming in for Horace to go to the bench with those two fouls.
They've really been all over Kirby Brown. They really run into a crowd. When he puts the ball on the floor, there's the thing that he can do that you can do. He can go one dribble, stop, and deliver, and he's going to have to do that because by the time he gets his second glide dribble underway, they're double teaming him.
His second three of the night. Jackson able to break the pressure, get it over to Livingston. Jackson pulls up 15.
That's tough money right there. The ability to...
That's big time move right there.
Be able to drive someone's up leg off, put the ball on the floor, and pull the jump stop in the middle of their drop step is really good. Again, his presence underneath, they're really trying to challenge him, but he's really upsetting their offensive tempo.
Comstock lost it. Jackson came away with it. They go to Jackson one more time. 23-17 Knights.
Even there, that was a very poor pass to the wing, and he was able to just extend and save it.
Asamende looking for Jackson. Look at, I mean, he just has perfect awareness on the floor, doesn't he?
You throw the ball anywhere near him, and you're going to see. Here he comes. He's going to be on the ball left side, and he goes, I wasn't even there. Somebody else. And the ball flashed back underneath there.
He's able to get the steal at that point.
Very consistent officiating thus far in the tournament. Got a little ragged a round ago or 2 rounds ago late in one ball game, but other than that, they've just been outstanding, consistently letting the players play. You can essentially ram into anybody about as hard as you want to, but what you can't do is you can't reach out and touch them or shove them or push them with your arm.
Back into the lineup for Bishop Kelly as Jeff Kamen. Also into the game for the Bears, Sean Reynolds and Darnell Williams back on the floor. We'll be saying that a lot as both squads going 11 deep thus far.
Yeah, they show zone when the ball's out of bounds, and then they follow the man-to-man from there. It's really amazing.
Violet inside, can't hit. There's Asamende working weak side, blows another chippy inside. I think that's just nerves. He's had 2 wide open looks and hasn't been able to put him down.
There's also a lot of great athletes leaping in the air in there, too. There's some serious pressure. The first one he just missed. 2 dribbles, and you're in trouble against this defense.
Brown, great effort to save it.
1 dribble and a shot, nice back cut in there.
As Williams gets his 4th point and draws the Bears within 4 at 23-19.
There's an example of a great player watching a great player. Abe Jackson was looking up the key at him.
Jackson works baseline, works his way inside. He's going to draw the foul. Going to go inside on Jamie Westford as his first. Right now, it looks like the Bears are just going to run as many players as they can at Jackson and make him beat him at the line.
Well, I guess you got to pick it somewhere. Nice back pick, and they got Jackson watching the point guard. Everybody knows who Kirby Brown is, and so they caught him watching. Didn't see the back screen coming. Here's another thing that's unusual is Jackson really can take a pounding. He's got good size and everything. These are not 50 fouls they're hitting him with here. These kids are really leaning on him and really taking a good shot on him, and he's strong, just fine, holding up under the pressure.
Jackson with 12 points, 12 of PK's 24. Nice drive inside by Westberg. He answers with a bucket to bring the Bears within 3 at 24-21.
Been a while now. BK's been away from Jackson for a little bit. He's been a while without an assist. And Moscow's climbing back. He needs to handle the basketball.
Zimmerman working down low. Can't hit the banker. Battle for the loose ball. Jackson and Westberg tie it up. It's going to go to the Bears on the possession arrow.
Great camera work right there. If you look off the ball, all the red uniforms are going to be in the key by the time this thing goes up. Here it goes, penetration all the way down. Good pressure on the shot. Watch when it comes off. How many red shirts are around the ball? It's physical in there, guys.
Both teams going at each other. Expected nothing less. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Williams, a great spin move and the touch to put it down.
Nice soft finish.
Zimmerman breaking the pressure.
They need him on the floor. Even while they're resting him, it's been quiet.
Jackson down low, ball knocked out of bounds. Casamende lost it.
The pressure, the tempo of Moscow finally starting to build, starting to get the tempo of this game to come up higher and faster.
Bears with a chance to retake the lead.
Westbrook is really strong, a good physical player.
Reynolds looking to create, tough shot, and buries it.
Nice choice. Good patience for the offense. Now, BK needs to be organized here. They need to really take the time, get some floor balance.
And Jackson gets it inside to Zimmerman, but he can't hit it, but he gets his own rebound and puts it down and draws the foul. That's a nice answer.
Nice answer. Good organization again. What do? Well, we put the ball in Jackson's hands, let him bring it against their center. Now the center's out at 20 feet. Zimmerman puts it up. No center in town. He overpowers everybody to rebound it, put it back up and in. Great organization by the Knights.
Foul on Ryan Gilmore, his second. Zimmerman goes to the line, completes a three-point play. He now has 7. Casamende will check out. Alexis back in. Don Dudley right there. Coach of the Bears looking for their second consecutive state title in A-2. They trail it by 2, though, 27-25.
Bishop Kelly changing up, showing zone here just on in the last 2 minutes of the possession.
3-point attempt by Adam Bush, no good. And here come the Knights with a break opportunity. Great hustle by Reynolds as he takes it away from Zimmerman.
Great speed. Look out, it's 3-on-3 coming in. Watch for the organization in the layup.
Reynolds going to draw the reach inside on Gaiman.
Moscow's offensive organization on a fast break and a secondary break is phenomenal. Ball's going loose. All you see is BK. Well, wait a second. Here we go. Great hustle, Rusty back. And they're going to turn this into a layup attempt at the other end from that field.
Even though there were 2 BK guys with 1 Moscow guy, soon became a 2-on-4.
That's right.
And then the advantage going the other way on the part of the Bears.
Ended up being 3-on-3, then 3-on-4, all red shirts. Look who's back, Kirby. He's got to stop going a long way with the dribble. He's just got to look and pick his shot.
Williams trying to cut inside, couldn't handle the tough pass by Cosgrove. Turnover gives it back to the Knights as we approach 1 minute to go until half.
No move to slow here, just to answer and be organized. Back
Zimmerman
kick.
tried to lob it to Jackson, but hit the backboard instead, and the Bears take the turnover the other way. Way out is Rinaldi. Way short. Violet hauls it down. I think he may have been a little confused between that CBA three-point line you see the furthest out and the high school three-point line.
This is what's hurting BK right now is they're picking the dribble up a wee bit early. They've got to keep the dribble till they know where they're going to pass it. Zimmerman seems to be able to do that, see? or just find Jackson after you pick it up.
Find the great outlet. Jackson. Oh, boy, I was going to say, if they didn't call foul there, it's going to be called on Castro. Yeah, he got a lot of ball, but he hammered him, too.
Well, I think it's a lot of ball for the first 2 or 3 feet. Watch, here the big, strong bodies. They're using against Jackson now. There's the foul. Right over the ball, but you've got to stop. You can't continue on down through the floor and through the player.
Yeah, you're right. I think if he had stopped, it would have been a no call.
It was even a late whistle. There's an example of good officiating. The guy waited and watched. Finally saw if he got him. Continued on with the block.
Violet will check out. 25 seconds to go in the half. Jackson back at the line where he's earned a living tonight. 7 of his 13 points coming from the charity stripe. BK up by 3.
Moscow saying, we have plenty of people to run it. You're going to have to make a lot of free throws tonight.
He's shown the ability to do that all year long. Final 20 seconds. You see the clock ticking it down. Oh, what a great steal by Jackson. Took it right away from Williams.
12 seconds as the ball comes into the front court. You got to get a ball in Zimmerman's hands or Jackson's hands.
Goodson inside. Alexis with the left hand.
The mighty players run to the other side of the floor and they get a layup. Nice job.
Rinaldi at the half. Can't hit it. And that will do it for the first half of play. Back and forth action. As the capacity Bishop Kelly crowd come to their feet as the Knights take a 31-25 lead into the locker room at halftime. Bishop Kelly leading it by 6 over the defending state champions in A-2, the Moscow Bears. And boy, what a great first half of basketball, Ross.
Palpable tension and aggression and speed.
Right now, Jeff Caves, our man down on the sideline, down talking with one of the coaches. Jeff?
Thank you. We're here with Coach Dudley. Coach, first half reactions?
We just need to guard better, box out on the rebounds, and, I think we'll be fine.
What about the perimeter game? Are you feeling confident that you can continue some of the hot hands in the second half?
Well, yeah, we'll just play the game the way it is. I think we'll be fine.
And Jackson's impact in the second half, do you think they'll get him more opportunities?
Well, sure, they're going to get it to him. He's a good guy, so you bet they will.
Good luck to you, Coach. All right, we'll come back with some halftime festivities. We're at halftime of the A-2 Real Dairy Shootout Championship at the Idaho Center. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. We are at halftime of the A-2 Real Dairy Shootout. Bishop Kelly on top of Moscow by a score of 31-25. Bears, the defending state champions, in trouble right now, down by 6 to Bishop Kelly. It's pretty much been the Abe Jackson show here in the first half.
Absolutely. It's been the Abe Jackson show, and I think one of the other thing is BK got up by 5 in the first quarter, and so much of that was Zimmerman, the X factor, making the defense pay attention to him so that then they could use Dave Jackson to relieve the pressure from the defense. Moscow is a great pressure defensive team, but they don't have an answer for Jackson being able to just get the ball, look over the top, or put it on the floor and take the pressure.
That has certainly been the case in this first half. If you take a look at the statistics, Ross, I think the big thing that really sticks out to me when I look at that first half statistics, free throws. Bishop Kelly, 11 of 13 from the line, while the Bears just 1 of 4.
They just aren't getting the opportunities. There's been a lot of ball location down in the key, no question, but it's been guard on guard against an offense, offense man on man, getting the ball down low. Where when the ball goes on the block to Bishop Kelly, it's going to big people that if you just don't hammer them, they're going to shoot 2-footers all night.
You mentioned the 11 of 13 free throws. Abe Jackson, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. He led the way with 14 points in the first half for Bishop Kelly. And obviously Moscow has to have an answer for him here in the
They
second
have
half.
to find an answer, and there's 2 ways to do it. You pressure him harder and try and move him away, but you saw Bishop Kelly uses him all over the floor. When they needed a bucket and Moscow's starting to come at him, they put him outside, taking the center away from the bucket, and then they post up Zimmerman down low, and that still leaves Violet on the backside. So
take a look at some highlights from the first half of play. And here's what you're talking about with Zimmerman wide open down the weak side.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackson has the ability to put the ball on the floor, and he can see over. Again, here's penetration, and the shot up and rattled and gotten in, but you can see the ball's been inside a lot, and a great heads-up play, but he misses the layup here.
Reynolds had 5 points in the first half. Kirby Brown leading the way with 6 points as well as Darnell Williams. And here's what you talked about with Zimmerman, the ability to handle the ball, dribble, penetrate.
Dribble, penetrate. They did not have an answer for him in the first quarter at all. He could get into the key at will. Just did a very good job.
great play by Rinaldi here as he's able to slap it away, and then he gets the reward at the other end.
Moscow definitely up tempo all the way. Even sitting here, you start breathing fast because they're just putting pressure all over. Zimmerman again with the ball against pressure. He's going to take it across, and here is the dribble drive and the ability to look through. Even though that ball didn't get there, the ability to see.
Then this is towards the end of the half. Great feed into Alexis for the easy bucket to put BK up by 6 at the break.
And there's an example. I'm saying it's Zimmerman. I'm saying it's Jackson. And as we're watching all that, they get a layup on the backside where the defense is all focused out at 20 feet with no seconds on the clock, and they get an open layup because everyone's paying attention to Zimmerman and Jackson at this point.
So certainly, you mentioned the alternatives for Moscow. They certainly have to get a handle on Jackson because if they don't do that, they're not going to win this game.
No, they are not. I don't know how they're going to get a handle on him. One thing they've got to do is they've got to score some buckets at the other end and not turn it over in transition so they can find him. Because when the ball's being moved down the floor, Jackson's getting anywhere he wants on the floor, and it's one-on-one. If you can score, you can get a chance to turn everybody to him and see. But again, he shoots 88% from the free throw line, and so they're putting him down on the block, and I don't know how they're going to answer that.
And also Ryan Zimmerman, he had 7 points in support of Jackson in that first half, and you got to have someone to support the big guy. It was Ryan Zimmerman in that first half.
Yeah, and I think throughout the tournament, it's been Violet. I think one of the things you have to look at is there were a lot of teams in this state tournament that had 2 great players. But the teams that are in the finals, both the A1 and the A2, have 3 or more players who can play. I mean, and I don't mean just be an average player for you, but can take the pressure, can handle the ball, because 3 against a 5-person defense is just too many to handle.
And certainly the ability of all 4 of these teams in both A2 and A1, the ability to pass the basketball, and we got a good exhibition of that in the first half.
That's the discerning factor. That's what's changed. With the 3-point line, the game is always evolving. You know, it's no longer get a big kid slam him down there. The big kids all want to be forwards now, so they can all shoot it and handle it. You're seeing the game change. And I don't think there's any question that when you came into this tournament, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's all going to be East or it's all going to be North or something. But I think what's happening is the teams that have survived can pass the ball very clearly. You're definitely going to see it in the A1, and we're seeing it here. There is a dominant player at BK. There's no question about that. But what can he do? He can pass the ball and make everybody around him a much better player.
And that's why Bishop Kelly is leading this one at the half by a score of 31-25. When we come back here on the Real Dairy Shootout, we'll have second half action from here at the Idaho Center coming up after this. We are back at the Idaho Center, everybody. Mike Boyle along with Ross Cook. Third quarter just about ready to begin of this A2 championship of the Real Dairy Shootout. Bishop Kelly on top of Moscow, 31-25. Defending state champion Bears have traditionally been strong coming out of the locker room in the third quarter, and we were touching upon it in the break, Ross. The fact that BK has been a propensity for being outscored in the third period of play. This could be a key quarter. Who wins this game?
That's absolutely true. They've been outscored every third quarter in this tournament. One of the things that is different about Bishop Kelly in the second half than in the first half, though, is they shoot the ball much more often in the second half. Now, just figure that one out. They get a lot more shots. I mean, we're talking 6, 8, 10 more shots a game than they get in the first half.
Certainly means they're going to be spreading the wealth around, and they've had a tendency to really up it offensively. I watched this club this year. Well, they'll score 25, 30 points in the first half, and then they'll come out and score 40 to 45 in the second. Moscow, though, they had a great rally last night to knock off Emmett. They were trailing Emmett at half last night and came out and really stuck it to the Huskies in the fourth quarter.
When you statistically look at that, Moscow is a high-pressure basketball team. They want to win the last 2 minutes of the first half, and they want to win the last 8 minutes of the ball game, and that's what happened. And when you looked at those 2 games last night in Moscow and Emmett, you could not put a piece of paper between those teams. It was a coin flip as to who was going to be there.
And the game came down to the fact that a technical foul called after Emmett called a timeout in a tie game without having a timeout stage with Chris Weber in Michigan in the NCAAs. Tough loss for the Huskies, and Moscow took advantage by hitting free throws late.
Kirby Brown stood right in there and gunned him in the hole.
Third quarter underway. Bishop Kelly will get the basketball. Zimmerman able to get the outlet pass as the Knights will take over offensively, leading it by 6.
Great pressure all the way around.
Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds off of Satterfield.
BK never really got into a flow that time. Picked up the ball twice out by the timeline and did not get it to Abe.
Took the words right out of my mouth. They never really got into a flow in that offensive set, and I think you can credit Moscow for that.
Little Indiana screen out in front, showing soft all the way around.
Duke
Very
tries-
hard on Brown.
Duke tries the three, and no one under the board but Jackson. He sweeps it away, and the Knights come the other way. Satterfield looking for Jackson. Work it down low with a turnaround. That's money.
That's solid. He looks one way, still rocking on the dribble.
Russ Cosgrove's a great defensive player and a lot of hustle, but he's given a 5 inches to Jackson.
Really interesting matchup right now is to watch Satterfield against Kirby Brown.
Westberg missing the lay-in. Horace will bring it the other way. Zimmerman's open baseline and nails it. And BK up by 10.
Kirby Brown going to bring the ball in the front court this time and give it up.
Cosgrove goes inside. He'll draw the block on Zimmerman. That will be his first personal as the ball stuck inside there. He'll go to the line for 2, Will Cosgrove.
You know, back in our day, back in that day, this shot right into the crotch of the rim and backboard right here. They went and got ladders, didn't they, Mike, back when you were around?
well, maybe a little before my time. Not much, but a little. Look at Russ Cosgrove, 6-foot senior. Hitting the free throws, first point of the night. Had 11 points in the first round win over Shelley when they crushed the Russets 85-39.
Moscow behind in this ball game and averaging 74% per possession. I mean, points per possession. That's enough to win 90% of your game.
Horace throws it away. Get a few words from Neil McCarthy to settle it down. Team's up by 9. Doesn't need to be doing that.
2 turnovers and an Abe Jackson. He solves a lot of ills.
Rinaldi inside, can't hit it. Jackson, another board. That's his third of the half. He has 7 rebounds on the game. Satterfield down low. Zimmerman working baseline and throw the hoop and the foul.
Much better offensive organization this time. Just much better. Brought the ball in, got the ball from guard to forward. We're patient with it, looked at the weak side, and you're going to watch Zimmerman. This is great composure here by Satterfield. He looks at it, gives it to Zimmerman. Zimmerman able to hold off the body, spin in, and leave enough room for the bank layup.
He's just too thick for Westberg or anyone else down on that baseline for the Bears to handle as he gives BK a 37-26 lead. Don Dudley has to talk things over with his troops, trailing it by 11 with 6:13 to go here in the third. They have got to do something, especially with baseline defense, because BK has really exploited them there all game long.
Well, they have, and I think it's just the size and the physicalness, and coming into this, we knew Zimmerman would be a factor between the free throw lines, but we didn't know he'd be that tough down on the block. He's just really a physical force, a dominant, rough, tough kid down there.
Ryan Zimmerman, 5'11 senior. Can't complete the three-point play as Westberg down with the board. Bears trailing it by 11. Brown trying to get something going offensively. Dribble drive inside. Gets it over. Violet can't hit it, and Violet away with the board.
Just great composure, great defense on that. Just keeping him, and he ended up 1-on-3.
That pressure Rinaldi puts out in the front court. Lob inside to Zimmerman, working down low on Duke. Can't get the roll. Battle for the loose ball, and it's going to come out to Satterfield. Jackson working on Cosgrove.
Solid.
Boy, he is tough. Going to Boise State University next year. Cosgrove comes back the other way, can't hit. There's Jackson with another board.
Nervous time on the bench over there because you're getting good shots. You're getting down the floor. You don't want to throttle your guys by saying, look, you can't shoot it. You know, you slow down a little bit because they're getting pretty good looks.
Lob inside, ill-advised pass. Brown with good defense. Here comes Cosgrove the other way. Jackson, though, with the pick.
Thrown that pass probably all season, you know, and just not used to having 6'7" stand in the middle of the floor.
Now Jackson handling the ball out top. BK leading it by 13. They spread the floor.
Going to play a high pick game. This is really an intriguing move. Nice false motion by BK.
Turnaround Jackson, baseline's off. There's Shoop with the board. Bears bring it the other way. Rinaldi working on Horace, and foul's going to go on Horace. Going to be on the floor, so no bucket. And for Chris Horace, that's his third. He'll check out. Jeff Kamen coming back in. Also checking in for the Bears, Sean Reynolds and Darnell Williams. Cosgrove and Brown will go to the bench for Moscow.
Shot called on the ground. They're going to trigger underneath here.
Rinaldi being guarded by Jackson in a mismatch. Reynolds working baseline. Goes to Westberg. Oh, rejected. And then taken away. But there's Rinaldi with the pick on the outlet.
Rinaldi keeping this game from breaking open right now.
No question. He's really keeping Moscow in it right now.
It should be Cap City otherwise.
Deuce tries a three. Can't hit Jackson. Another board. 18 points, 10 rebounds thus far for Jackson. David in trouble, but there's Jackson to relieve the pressure. He drives inside. He's going to draw the contact. They call the offensive foul on Jackson inside as Westford setting up. Neil McCarthy didn't like that call. Second foul on Jackson. Another look at it.
Again, relieving pressure with the big guy. He's outside, 2 dribble. Are you there by the time he leaves the ground? Definitely there.
Good call by the officials. Just under 4 minutes to go here in the third period. Still 39-26 BK. Williams works baseline. Can't hit it. Loose ball going out to Satterfield.
If you shoot it, BK's going to rebound it right now. No offensive rebounds from Moscow at all.
Well, I can't remember the last time they got one. Rinaldi, great pressure on Satterfield. Unable to save it, though. Jackson working baseline on Williams.
Williams okay to handle Abe on the outside, but there he goes to the inside.
Oh,
Great
what a
play.
beautiful feed to Violet, but he can't hit the tippy. Well, what a great flashing feed by Jackson.
I think a lot of times we hear a lot of people complain at Division I, they're just not being looked at. Well, we're getting a look right here at a legitimate Division I player playing against excellent high school players.
The remarkable thing about Jackson, not recruited by anybody. He's going to be walking on to Boise State
He
next
must
year.
not have been very tough during the summer. I mean, quite frankly, he must have really been median, or there'd been people here. You know, the other thing that is an odd thing, and as long as we're talking college, and I don't want to do too much of that tonight, this wonderful concept of high school basketball, is if you get 3 or 4 kids like this, you can burn up your scholarships because maybe 1 out of 4 will actually come on and finish and become a great college player.
Well, Dave Jackson showing why right there as he goes down the baseline after the feed from Taven and draws the foul.
Watch his eyes. Here's the dribble penetration out of control. Oh, I'll take it. 1 bounce dribble glide. Watch his eyes all the way. You know, a moment ago we almost said that Williams can handle him on the outside. No, just too strong and too big.
Jackson will go to the line to complete the three-point play. 2:45 to go. And things starting to get away from Moscow a little bit, Ross, as they trail at 41-26 as they continue to have no answer for Abe Jackson.
We highlighted Kirby Brown. No look. The only look he's gotten in the second half has been a forced look, 1-on-3 in the middle of the defensive help situation. He's not getting any looks in. And the other thing that has happened here is CK has just closed the lid on the defensive boards. That's it. You shoot it, we get it. And that is what's taking the most profitable team in this tournament and just turning them into a team that has to shoot and run back.
Moscow at the half had 10 rebounds, just 2 on the offensive glass. They haven't had an offensive putback in this second half in over 5 minutes of action. 41-26 in favor of Bishop Kelly. And Dave Jackson will go to the free throw line where he's been making a living in tonight's contest. 20 points thus far for the senior from Bishop Kelly. He's averaged 23 a game in this tournament. He's more on his way to getting there tonight. Another thing you notice with this kid is his leadership on the floor. Totally directing the show, which is tough to do from a center position. Can't hit the free throw. Battle for the loose ball. Taken away inside. Great play by Guy Satterfield.
Moscow in the man-to-man, running the highs. And the back picks, they have it open. Just the pressure so tough they can't see him.
Feed down low to Zimmerman. Can't hit the tip. He was battling down low. That's Violet. He can't hit it, but he'll draw the foul.
Very, very tough down there. When you can take Jackson to the wing, that takes your defensive center away from the basket. They run a two-man game away. Here's the pressure out in front. Jackson's going to appear at the wing. There he is. There's a back pick coming here. It's already happened. Zimmerman down on the block. He actually is being guarded by the center now, but he's just strong enough to take the contact. That leaves Violet against the person who's the three, which is the smaller forward out there. Matchups are tough.
Violet missing a free throw, and you said it right there. The matchups are tough, particularly for Corey Comstock. He's going to check out with 4 personal fouls, as he's been rendered ineffective. Just 2 points tonight down low. Violet missing both free throws.
DK, great job of getting back on the transition.
Now going to be called on Satterfield on the reach-in. That's his first. 4th team foul on BK, 3 on Moscow here in the second half of play. Still a 15-point game in favor of the Knights.
The ability to focus the defense with the big guy is a huge difference. Now, BK in the afternoon here, 2-3 zone after the ball was out of bounds on the baseline. Let's see how Moscow behaves against the standing zone.
Williams in trouble, double team, ball knocked away. Still remain fair basketball as it went out off of Zimmerman.
Nice contain in the 2-3 there, and as they got him to cross, they gave him the pressure when he picked up the dribble. Ball on the sideline, they'll probably come back to the standard defense.
1:59 to go in the third. All ill-advised pass picked off by Kamen. He'll go the other way, but knocked away by Rinaldi. Boy, what a great hustle play by Tony Rinaldi, 5'9" senior. He seems to be everywhere.
Certainly has, and he's kept this game from spreading in the third quarter. This game would be over if not for the stellar play of Rinaldi.
He hasn't been necessarily doing things offensively as putting the ball in the hole, but just the little things from keeping BK from blowing it up. At Violet wide open on the left. Knocked away by Williams. What a great block inside. And the three-pointer up and good by Westford. What a turn of events there for the Bears.
In the first half, Westford was a good matchup. He was the best matchup they had against Jackson.
Violet gets it to Jackson. Tried to get it inside as Satterfield knocked away. Remain Knight basketball. 1:25 to go here in the third. 41-29 in favor of Bishop Kelly. Things are kind of stagnated offensively after a quick start in the third quarter. Jackson. Oh, nice dish inside of Violet.
BK not having to worry about being outscored in the third quarter in this ball game.
Violet has 6 on the game team and knocks it away from Rinaldi. Going to remain Moscow basketball. Violet, he was big in their first round win over Preston, had 19 points, 11 rebounds in that first round win. Tonight with
7 is tough to deal with.
No question. Just a sophomore as well. Westbrook can't knock that down. Jackson, another rebound.
One shot and run back.
Kamen going to be fouled by Rinaldi out top. That will be his second.
Just excited by how hard these people compete. They're just phenomenal. Both teams playing very hard. Moscow with that hard pressure, tenacious mentality.
Satterfield looking for Jackson. He's open baseline. He'll take it. Automatic.
We're in trouble. We have nowhere to throw it. Throw it to Jackson, and he converts it.
He's a great problem solver for Bishop Kelly.
You can pick up the ball ill-advisedly, or you can be out of bounds and be stuck.
Jackson with 22 of Bishop Kelly's 45 points. They lead it by 16. We tick down here in the third quarter. Working inside, getting the easy bucket, Adam Bush. 5'10" sophomore, his first bucket.
Two buckets and 3 trips.
Zimmerman knocked away by Williams. Came in hustling for the loose ball. Will be called for the foul.
hard push of the ball here. Zimmerman, guess what? First guy down the floor, he's going to put it up, but now there's a crowd. Elevated block.
A freshman getting some serious air there. 45-31, Williams looking to do it offensively. Shut down with the double team. Final 10 seconds of the third quarter.
Again, just a little bit too much dribble, a little over dribble.
Westberg inside, blocked by Violet and knocked out of bounds by Jackson on the baseline with 2.4 seconds remaining.
See what the answer is here. They're going to want to take the ball to the far side, not the downside of our bucket. They do, but that you took it to Abe's side. You don't want to go there. You want to go to the opposite side of the floor.
Reynolds unable to hit the three, and that will do it for the third period of play. Bishop Kelly extending their lead after 3 quarters of play here in the Real Dairy Shootout. BK on top, 45-31. Welcome back. Ready to begin the fourth quarter of play here in the Real Dairy Shootout. A-2 championship between Bishop Kelly and Moscow. Bears with a basketball, trailing the Knights 45-31 as BK extends the halftime lead of 6-14 after 3 quarters.
Defensive rebounds with Story in the third quarter. Moscow with only 6 points in the quarter.
Half of those coming on three-pointer by that man, Westberg. BK's defense shutting him down. Williams, nice baseline move on Zimmerman as he puts in his 8th point of the game.
Full court pressure by Moscow. 2-2-1 zone. And they'll break the player-to-player, man-to-man here.
Satterfield being pressured. Knocked away by Shoot. Great hustle. He knocked it away from Jackson, but it'll remain Knight basketball.
Bishop Kelly using Zimmerman to screen against the centers who are guarding Abe Jackson, and he's big enough and strong enough to really hold him off.
Not very tall at 5'10", but he can really bang down low. Jackson open on baseline, can't hit it. Here comes Reynolds the other way.
BK with a couple disorganized possessions in that last group. That was a well-organized offense, even though they didn't hit it. You've got to be with him. If he puts it on the floor and goes, he'll go one dribble too far. But if he'll learn to just put it once and take the shot, he can jump over people and shoot that jump shot.
The freshman with 10 for the Bears as he brings them back within 10 at 45-35. Violet picking up the dribble early, and he loses it. Williams.
He needs to shoot it and not go too far. Call the timeout here. Get this thing stopped.
Williams bringing them within 8 at 45-37. Knights will bring it the other way.
Zimmerman with a great play to hold the ball here. Now he goes with dribble penetration and gets fouled.
He draws the foul. Boy, what great composure on the part of the senior. That's some leadership right there.
Really did. He made a great choice. He waited. You just see the dribble penetration here. Now don't go too far till you draw two. Just pull up and shoot it. There it is. Sweet. Nice elevation.
Doesn't look like a freshman to me.
Averaging 15-5 in this tournament.
He's got 12 tonight. Zimmerman will go to the line for 2 shots.
Zimmerman grabbed that ball in transition, held it till the people came down the floor. Then he took his choice to go to the drive. But it was he made it at his tempo and his choice rather than at the defensive pressure. Sometimes you press people full court to get them just to take quick shots. You don't care if they make them or miss them. You just want them to shoot the ball quickly. That was a real senior play by Zimmerman to make that choice.
Zimmerman with 12 points tonight. Make it 13 as he extends the lead back to 10. That was a big possession for the Knights. Try to stem this Bear tide. Castro back into the ball game. Number 33 for Moscow. Scoop is open for 3. Can't hit it. There's Jackson. That has been the difference, Ross. When the Bears can't hit that shot, they're getting 1 and out.
Yeah, it's one and go back. They need a good organized possession here. They say, well, we'll give it to you. That's how.
Oh my goodness. Abe Jackson. How did he hit that? He'll go to the line for the 3-point play.
He shoots this one not only through but over. Watch, this is a strong, muscular guy. Big, strong foul there. He just continues on up and finishes.
Cosgrove did everything but mug him in the alley. Did not matter. Costro picks up his second as Jackson now at 24, chance to make it 25 on the night.
One thing Jackson does a great job of is he pivots before he puts it down. So he's already extended himself from the defense before he commits himself to the dribble, and that just makes a big kid bigger.
Dave Jackson hasn't been just big, he's been huge in this game. As a lead back to 13 at 50-37. Williams working inside. Can't hit the turnaround there. Horace with the board.
That's as good a look as they're getting, though, so that's the right shot.
Oh, nearly stolen by Williams with Satterfield in trouble. Horace lob inside. Oh, what a great get by Jackson. He draws a foul down low. Boy, he is a great problem solver, isn't he?
Put this one on the trophy. When in doubt, find number 34. I mean, that was an abominable possession. The ball picked up twice. No one knowing what to do. Throw it up to 3 feet and let him just go get it.
Foul on Shoop, his first. But Jackson goes line. You're right. They were in trouble that entire possession, but Jackson still able to get them points at the line.
That's what makes it so tough. They scored on 84% of the possessions in the first half. That'll win ball games. And they've only improved that here in the second half. When in doubt, just give it to him, and he can not only solve the problems, he can put points on the board for you or for someone else on your team.
27 points now for Jackson. 11 of those from the free throw line as Don Dudley and the Moscow Bears will call timeout with 5:18 to go in the game. And they're down once again by 15, 52-37. 20-second timeout from the Bears. As really, they were back in this game within 8. Momentum on their side. Jackson and Zimmerman taking the game over.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Williams with a little bit of a run, nice jump shot by him. Zimmerman makes a great choice. They get back in their flow, and Jackson handles the ball the next 2 possessions, and boom, it's back to 15 just like that.
Dave Jackson, one of the greatest players to come through Bishop Kelly High School. I've mentioned a couple here in the 90s. Jim Potter, now playing professionally over in Belgium, one of the greatest players Idaho State has seen. And then you talk about Mike Hagman, very solid player in his 4 years at Boise State University. Dave Jackson has a possibility of becoming as good or better than both of them.
There's some serious contact going on with Kirby in the corner.
Kirby Brown trying to get him back in it with the 3. Can't hit it. Now for a loose ball. Going to the night chorus. Working baseline for the Knights and hitting the shot. Number 32. That's Bob Burke making his first appearance in the game. He gets in the scorebook.
Watch for the contact between Josh and Kirby. They're really mixing it up. Kirby's thrown 2 wild ones just because of the pressure and how physical it is.
17-point game now. If you're Moscow, just 4.5 minutes to go. You got to avoid the danger of really chucking things up.
Yeah, and I think they went over there and they said, Kirby, you got to get some shots for us. And so he's had 2 fair looks. Both have been off-balance jump shots, and here he's going to the bench. The ball's going to come. Dribble penetration. You know, they do this every day in practice, and there's somebody coming off the bench getting a touch and finishing off right away. The same choice Zimmerman had just a little while ago.
Steal by Reynolds off of the inbound. Bears with a basketball. Time becoming a factor now, trailing at 5:17 with 4:15 to go in the game. Rinaldi, nice drop step inside, but can't hit the shot. Williams inside, he'll draw the foul. Going to go on Lewandowski. Bishop Kelly, his first.
Here, Rinaldi coming in with his pump up and the cross through, left-hand finger rolling. Here it is, an offensive rebound. Williams getting to the glass on the inside.
Remarkable that the Bears get their first offensive board in the second half with 4:11 to go in the game. Williams airballs the free throw.
Rinaldi walks right up to him and says, "You're all right." You can hear it. "You're all right." He calls the defense out to him.
Can't hit either or. Jackson with the rebound. Lewandowski just loses it out of bounds. Pressure of Rinaldi forces the turnover. Bears need some points and they need them in a hurry.
Really need to make something happen.
Cosgrove will try a 3. He can't hit, but there's Reynolds inside. He's going to draw the foul before the shot.
Going to call it on the floor again, getting the
It's going to be a
stop, but they will shoot 1-on-1 on it. And if there's something they can do wrong to get this thing to have a problem here, the shot goes up, and for the second time in 2 trips, the ball bounces to red here, and that's something we haven't seen at all. The clock gets stopped, an opportunity for points.
Reynolds hits the front end of the 1-1. That foul was on Chris Morris, his 4th. He will check out. Jeff Kamen will check in.
If Burke is still guarding Kirby Brown, really watch off the where the ball is. Kirby's been grabbing him by the head and throwing him to get rid of him. I mean, there's frustration all over the place here. Picking up points with the clock stopped, and they're able to get him into the full court pressure.
Kamen gets by Reynolds. This is where they get in trouble, picking it up early, but he's able to get it to Lewandowski. Who do they go to? Jackson.
And he makes the choice to bring it out to 3:42.
Kamen, ball knocked away and stolen. Reynolds coming the other way. Can't hit the shot, though.
The presence of Jackson. He had to make a choice there. Jackson was trying to time him, and you can see at the last second he just decided to lay off him, let the clock make the choice here. The bucket's not going to hurt you as much as the clock getting stopped. Abe just lays off him, but because he had to take a drag hook, because he's shooting it against 6'7", that's the choice. And who else gets the rebound?
Zimmerman's there, and Cosgrove draws the personal, his 3rd. 8th team foul on Moscow. 1-1 now for Zimmerman. Can't hit it. And the Bears lose it out of bounds as Cosgrove and Westberg fail to communicate. Costly turnover gives it back to Bishop Kelly.
When it starts to go bad, sometimes the leaks come from all over the boat. This is a great Moscow team and an excellent Moscow program, and BK just really handling them.
Kamen getting it to Zimmerman.
That's how strong he is with the dribble.
Burke fouled out top. You can really see it when the Knights get in trouble. We've said it before. They get the ball to number 42, number 34, and everything seems to settle down.
Burke was interesting. He had the ball there, and you could just tell Kirby was going to foul him. The two have been going at each other pretty hard for about the last 5 minutes.
Foul on Brown, his 2nd. Burke can't hit the free throw. Westberg away with it. Here come the Bears. Rinaldi
starts out 1-on, and it ends up 1-on-4. Great team speed and hustle by BK.
Rinaldi, just 4 points tonight. As the lead of 13 is 54-41. Still a lot of time remaining. 2:50 to go. Foul going to be called on Shoof on Jackson out top.
Amazing pressure here. You give it to your center. You let him bring it up the floor. He delivers a little bit of a shot here. He's going to yo-yo the dribble. He makes a great choice checking around and watches. He comes over here. There's some contact. When he picks it up, watch the elbow. It's just tremendous contact in this ball game being played hard. And the foul was called on the tape, catching the elbow. No, it was the right call. The foul before.
Boy, if you're Shoof, that's a tough one to take. You get socked in the face with an elbow and draw the personal to boot.
And you draw the foul. And then he hits the free throws. It's not like he misses them. It gives you a chance to get back.
Brown able to retrieve it. Lewandowski, Westberg being pressured. Lewandowski going to draw the foul. 6-foot junior picking up his 2nd.
They've been used to running that fast break to the corner all year, flattening the defense out and then reversing it. They run it to the corner and their 6-7 breaks down on the jump shot, so that's not a choice. And then the BK defense knows that no one's going to drive on him, so then they come out and they cut the passing lane. They get a trap out of what would be a routine fast break that you run all year. And then you get here, because the 6-7 kid can come out and take the jump shot away from you and contain you. It makes it tough.
It makes it all that more noticeable here at the high school level how one player can make the difference on the floor.
Oh, absolutely.
Westberg hitting the free throw. 6 points tonight for the 6'2 senior.
I think it's stunning to me about this whole deal is as this is a dominant player at 6'7". The average player in the NBA is 6'8", 235 pounds.
Zimmerman breaking through the pressure, going to draw the foul. 2:33 remaining in the game. Bishop Kelly on top, 56-42. Foul on Coop is going to be his third. 10 team fouls now on Moscow, so from here on out, the Knights will be shooting 2 shots.
They need some definite cooperation here. They need some missed free throws. And, some things can happen at 2:33, but they're right at the door right now. Convert a few free throws right now in a couple possessions, and this game's over. But you miss them here, we could be, everybody could be standing on their feet.
Well, the big break for the Knights is that they got a 2-shot opportunity. It's not like they missed the front end of the 1-and-1.
That's right.
Zimmerman hits the first of 2 as Comstock checks back into the game, coming in for Shoop. 15-point lead for Bishop Kelly. They've pretty much been in control of this thing from the get-go.
Yeah, they're only shooting 69% for the free throw line in this tournament, but they shot a lot better than that tonight.
Primarily due to number 34, A. Jackson.
He gets a lot of choices. He helps that percentage a great deal. You need to get a good shot.
Rinaldi tries a 3. Burke down with the board. Look at the hustle by Rinaldi. Nearly got it from Horace. And Jackson says clear out.
Big, strong, thinks the game.
Draws the foul on Brown. He's waiting for a little bit of help, but so composed out there.
Kirby Brown looking at the clock, playing the clock positions. He's been the person who's made the fouls in the last couple trips. Really a heady player.
His third personal, Kirby Brown. Jackson back to the line.
It's easy to say, this is the Jackson show, and it has been. But Kirby Brown shredded this tournament. And he came in here, and he's just another player. The team defense has just done a great job on him. And they've guarded him with 3 or 4 players, and everybody's played very well against him.
Jackson continuing to light it up. 31 points for the big fella. 15 of them from the line.
Sending a little message here.
You can tell in a lot of schools out there, you should have looked at me. Brown with a lob. No way you're getting it over Jackson. It's knocked away. Bishop Kelly with it. Zimmerman takes control. Burke driving in. He'll draw the foul. But that's going to do it for Comstock. His 5th personal.
You can see this foul coming a long way away as Comstock breaks down on him.
And the Bears post player totally neutralized in this one as the Bears will call timeout with 1:39 to go.
Way up in the air. Comstock, and he still has the composure to foul the elbow so the shot doesn't get up. But Burke was just going to take him from that angle all the way in, slide, dribble in, and put it up and in. You could see early on Comstock was not going to allow that shot to be taken.
Play certainly set up once again by Ryan Zimmerman, his ability to break the pressure of the Bears. Doing it all game long. It's been like a broken record, Zimmerman and Jackson.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we came in here, everybody said, well, it would be the size on the baseline. The pressure from Moscow caused the game to change. It turned it into a 94-foot basketball game, and Bishop Kelly is flexible enough to just reach in and pull another player, who's now the dominant player that goes with Jackson tonight.
No question, they've been able to play the full court game, and there were some questions about that, because everyone knew BK can play the half court game with anybody.
That's right, and they were saying this game's going to have to stay in the 50s. When we look at the tournament schedule, Moscow's pushed this tournament up into averaging 77 points a game. They come in here and get 42 in the at this point with a minute to go, and BK's right on their average. They had 58 in this tournament, and look where they are.
That's why they're a minute 39 from becoming a state champions for the first time in 7 years. They will dethrone the defending state champion.
Defense wins championships. Everybody says offense scores 8, but defense, overall team defense wins championships. 6 points for Moscow in the third quarter, and just 11 thus far.
Well, that's a good point you make, Ross. And the fact we talked about Zimmerman and Jackson at the offensive end, defensively, BK, that's where they won the game.
They just stopped it. They just stopped him. Kirby, who's been just great, Kirby Brown's been a great player all tournament, hasn't gotten a look. He's had 2 off-balance looks and a forced layup in the half. And there have been 2 offensive rebounds in the half. So that's pretty much closing the door.
Burke will check out. Matt White, 6'2 senior, into the lineup for the Knights. 61-42, Rinaldi will try a three. White with a rebound.
Here's an example. Defensive pressure forcing him to take an NBA three.
Boy, look at that outlet pass from Jackson. Two-handed, three-quarter court. Satterfield will go to the line after the foul by Brown.
This is an aspect of the game that has really improved at the high school level. That's a two-hand over-the-head outlet.
Wow. When he first threw that, I said, well, that wasn't the best decision because it looked like it was going to hang up there a little bit, but it got to its target.
Right, yeah, and he's not throwing it over molasses. The team can really run. Here he is.
Bishop Kelly. Fans come to their feet, deservedly so, for Abe Jackson. He checks out. Most valuable player of this tournament, certainly of this game. Ryan Zimmerman also checking out as Satterfield hits the free throw. Jackson finishing the night with 31 points. Double figures and boards. He just basically controls the entire game.
Yeah, an all-purpose player, an all-court player. And that's what the game is evolving to with the three-point line. These kids have had a three-point line all their life now. And so they
frightening, isn't it?
That's right. It's amazing. And they're just evolving to great players who can move out away. It doesn't. It kind of hurts the traditional big guys. You know, what do they do? How do they have the spins, the drops, and all that stuff down low? Quite frankly, they don't. but they're much better all over the floor, and they're much better players because of it.
Brown, story of the game. That's his first point here in the second half.
Yeah. They just stopped him, chased him hard. Great individual effort. Gardner.
62-43, Bishop Kelly. Brown makes it 44. Bears continue the pressure. Violet, who's checked back into the game. Getting it up to the floor. Shot no good by White. Here comes Rinaldi. Fast break. Brown ahead of the field. And he gets the field goal. But with just a minute remaining, 62-46 favor of Bishop Kelly. And the turnover forced by Rinaldi.
The pressure coming against some new players against the BK. Pressure affecting him.
55.3 seconds. Well, that's one thing with the Bears. They're not going to let up. Brown misses inside. Rinaldi with a loose ball. Try another three and hits it. What a clutch shot by Tony Rinaldi. White.
Good composure and floor organization. They'll make some free throws.
As Goodson gets fouled, he'll go to the line with 37.7 seconds to go. Lead down to 13, but too little too late for the Bears.
Bunch of happy seniors, and this is a senior-laden Bishop Kelly team.
See a couple of other senior-laden teams in the A1 final with Coeur d'Alene taking on Bora. Chris Horace will check out, senior point guard for Bishop Kelly. Goodson gets one of two from the line, 63-49. And Westberg gets the roll on the three-pointer. He has 9 on the game. Bishop Kelly will call timeout with the pressure with 23.2 seconds to go, leading it by 11. Last possession by the Bears. Westberg, who's had a solid game, had his hands full all game with Abe Jackson, but getting it done at the offensive end as he gets the shooter's roll.
16 senior, nice touch there as he comes down the floor, unopposed, picks up in the adjustments, and they've been doing that to teams, quality teams, all tournament, and they just have had no looks until the last 3 minutes of this ball game.
Really, they haven't tipped into the Bishop Kelly lead until the last minute and a half of the game after the outcome was decided.
Interesting thing, this is the big senior Bishop Kelly team, and yet that young man with the ball right there is 6'6". The team at this moment is still bigger than Moscow out there. It's still
Well, certainly the tradition is those Bishop Kelly big men will continue with Corey Violet, just a sophomore. He'll be the go-to guy for the next 2 years with this nice program. You mentioned Jim Potter, Mike Hagman, Abe Jackson. Foul in the backcourt by the Bears, 14.8 to go in this one. BK on top by 11 points. They'll win their first state title in 1991. Second in their school's history. Free throw up and no good. Andy Livingston trying to get his name in the scorebook.
Got it.
Bishop Kelly on top by 12. Final 10 seconds. This A2 championship. Reynolds way out, way short. 1 second still left on the clock. They'll take an inbound pass, and the Bishop Kelly Knights will be your A2 champions in the state of Idaho. And there it is. Your 1998 A2 state champions in the Real Dairy Shootout, the Bishop Kelly Knights. They defeat Moscow by a final 64-52.
Defense in the second half. Too much Abe Jackson. Zimmerman played great. Just an exciting ball game all the way around. Neil McCarthy right there being swamped by his kid.
And deservedly so. Abe Jackson, 31 points tonight, nearly half of the team's total, leading Bishop Kelly. The A2 state title as they dethrone the defending state champions, the Moscow Bears. Give enough credit to Moscow because they had a tough road to get here. Beat some impressive teams, but they just ran into the big horse tonight.
Jackson was very strong in all facets of the game. And I think if you look at the 31 points, you can say, wow, that's the difference. We were expecting the baseline of BK to score half the points. He did it himself. And yet it was probably his composure and his ability to handle the ball away from the basket and to relieve pressure. That was every bit as big as all of those 31 points.
Moscow's game is forcing turnovers with that pressure. They didn't get it tonight because BK had the big fella to rely on. And as a result, Bishop Kelly wins it by a final of 64-52 and deservedly so as they controlled this game throughout.
Absolutely, start to finish, and then when they came out in the second half, and we're doing the old statistics thing. Well, they have been outscored and everything. They just stopped the game and say there'll be no more offensive rebounds. If you shoot it, we're going to get it back, and we're going to pressure you. And oh, by the way, your best scorer, Kelly Brown's not going to get any touches. He's just not going to be able to do it. And in the meantime, Zimmerman and Jackson just took over the rest of the ball game.
Yeah, Kirby Brown, leading scorer for the club, only 10 points for the Bears. And he had 4 of those in the second half, those coming in the last minute of the game.
Got them all late, yeah.
Don Dudley now will speak to the crowd. Head coach from Moscow High School.
Before I introduce my players, I'd like to thank the United Dairymen, the Idaho Center, Reading High School, Jim Reed, and all the fine Bachlouders, and all the fine people that have put on such a great tournament. I want to congratulate Bishop Kelly, fine team they had this year. Now I'd like to introduce my players. Start with the younger one, freshman Darnell Williams. Sophomore Adam Bush. Sophomore Ben Lee. Go, guys. Sophomore Daryl Wilder. Junior Chris Walker. Junior Josh Anderson. Junior Corey Comstock. Corey. Junior Ryan Gilmore. Junior John Shoup. John. my seniors, great group of leaders. Start with Sean Reynolds. Go, Sean. Jamie Westberg. Proud of you, Jamie. Jeremy Nielsen. Proud of you guys. Russ Cosgrove. Kirby Brown. Kirby. Tony Ronaldo. I'd also like to thank my fine coaching staff, starting with varsity assistant Frank Waters, Travis Walker, junior varsity coach, and varsity assistant Sam Hochstein, ninth grade coach and assistant Brett Mahoney. And my fine assistants Jim Bielenberg, Jared Frederickson, and Evan Pittman. And I'd like to thank the Bear Boosters and the Bear supporters who've been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you all.
Moscow head coach Don Dudley. A great effort by his ball club, but they come up a little bit short tonight, losing at 64-52 to Bishop Kelly. As a trophy presentation in the banner now, going to head coach Neil McCarthy and his Knights as the banner coming back to Bishop Kelly for the first time in 7 years. And Bishop Kelly High School from here in Boise, Idaho, they're celebrating tonight. There's a lot of black and gold here. I love the feeling. You've never been part of a team and winning a championship. What you strive for, what you play for when you go into those summer camps. Because right now, Neil McCarthy have a chance to talk to the crowd here at the Idaho Center.
First, I'd like to thank the Idaho High School Activities Association. About 3 weeks ago, our season kind of turned around, and I watched the Olympics, and I thought Peekaboo Street said something really profound after she won a gold medal. She said, when you're young, you have dreams. And then you get a little bit older and you have goals. And you get that last shot and you're on a mission. These guys have been on a mission here for the last 3 weeks. Thanks a million, fellas. I'd like to introduce the players now so they come up and receive their medal. Sophomore Jeff Cameron. Sophomore Andy Livingston. Junior Brett Lewandowski. Junior Nick Alexich. Junior Joe Goodson. Sophomore Corey Violet. Senior Ruben Asamendi. Senior Matt White. Senior Sky Satterfield. Senior Chris Horace. Senior Ryan Zimmerman. Senior A. Jackson. And Senior Bob Burke. I'd like to also introduce my assistant coaches. Varsity assistant Chuck Cackey. Varsity assistant Eric Race. JV coach Larry Crump. And our great advisor, Father Pat Russell. And lastly, we'd like to congratulate Moscow on getting here. You guys are a great team. Thank you very much.
Well, Ross Cook, I think it's safe to say mission accomplished for the Bishop Kelly Knights. They finished the year at 23-3, lost all their games early in the year, including one of them to Emmett, the team that lost to Moscow in the semifinal round. And Bishop Kelly, they've bantered back and forth between Emmett for the number one spot in A2 all year long. Well, they proved in this tournament they are the number one team in the state in A2.
Certainly came all the way through. Tough one for Emmett to lose it on the way in here, but this is certainly a representative Moscow team. They played great, played very hard. I think Satterfield guarding Kirby Brown in the second half, just keeping him that way. Very, very tough. Very, very tough. And the young man you see right there, he's got many more hours of basketball ahead of him that people can stand and Boise and cheer about. But Abe Jackson was just as good as anybody has ever said he is, and he just dominated. He showed what a true, great high school player he is, and we're all really excited for Bishop Kelly and all the fans.
Yes, and I tell you what, they certainly deserved it. And really, the game decided in the third quarter when a 6-point halftime lead became a 14-point lead.
6 points. And Moscow scored 6 points in the quarter, and one was a long-range three. No offensive rebounds, none.
And certainly outstanding defense on the part of Neil McCarthy's Bishop Kelly Knights. Right now, Jeff Caves is standing by with a happy coach. Jeff?
Neil McCarthy, what can we say? Second state championship, another Real Dairy shootout. You've tasted now victory twice. You've tasted defeat. Does it get sweeter?
No, they're always great, and they're very tough to come by, so we'll really savor it.
What's the key to this 1998 season for the Knights of BK?
Well, we had some tough times there about 3 weeks ago. Dropped a couple of games, and we refocused and did a much better job here the last 3 weeks. We've been playing tremendous defense. The key to this game, I thought tonight, was our defense. Did a great job on just about all their guys. They really struggled to get shots up, and great win.
Abe Jackson's impact on this team. Does the Bishop Kelly Knights win a state championship without an Abe Jackson, maybe the best player in the state?
Well, I think he is the best player in the state. I tell you, we would have had to do a lot of things differently. He's a great go-to guy. I thought he had a huge night on the board. He rebounded like a champ, and that's what you have to do in these kind of games.
And for you personally, now you retool and get Bishop Kelly ready. I noticed you had another big man out there for another couple of years.
Sure, we'll try to come back and play hard again next year.
Congratulations once again, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, Neil McCarthy, A2 Real Dairy Shootout champion. The Bishop Kelly Knights today defeat Moscow. Take a break, come back. We have the highlights from some exciting basketball played earlier today in the A3 and A4 Real Dairy Shootout championships. We'll give you that when we return from the Idaho Center. Stay with us.